Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day's practice question. Question was recently the term Lagrangian or Lagrange point 1 was in the news. It is related to it is a point in the orbital plane of the Earth-Sun system. It is name of one of the deepest points in the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the 7 steepest points on K2 peak, or it is a type of newly discovered subatomic particle. The correct answer is option A. It is a point in the orbital plane of the Earth-Sun system. Recently, the Indian Space Research Organization announced the Aditya L1 mission, the space agency's first attempt to study the Sun. L1 refers to Lagrangian or Lagrange point 1, one of 5 points in the orbital plane of the Earth-Sun system. Lagrange points are named after Italian-French mathematician Joseph-Louis Lagrange. These are positions in space where the gravitational forces of a two-body system like the Sun and the Earth produce enhanced regions of attraction and repulsion. The L1 point is home to the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory Satellite, an international collaboration project of NASA and the European Space Agency. The L1 point is about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, or about 1/100th of the way to the Sun. The Aditya L1 will observe the Sun from a close distance and try to obtain information about its atmosphere and magnetic field. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Now let's begin today's session. First question is, consider the following statements regarding the Global Summit on Traditional Medicine. 1. It will be hosted by the US Department of Health and Human Services and World Health Organization. 2. It will be held in New York, USA. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. Recently, the Director General of WHO has come to India for the inauguration of Global Summit on Traditional Medicine on August 17 to 19. It will be the first ever Global Summit on Traditional Medicine. The summit will be hosted by the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Ayush. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. It will be held at Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The key focus areas are research, evidence and learning policy, data and regulations, innovation and digital health and biodiversity, equity and traditional knowledge. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next question is, recently the term atrial fibrillation was in the news. It is related to a rare genetic mutation impacting hair pigmentation, a unique metabolic disorder influencing digestive processes, a cardiac condition disrupting the heart's rhythmic patterns, or a cutting-edge neuroimaging technique for brain mapping. The correct answer is option C, a cardiac condition disrupting the heart's rhythmic patterns. Recently, researchers have uncovered that 11% of individuals in specialized cardiac intensive care unit had engaged in the use of recreational drugs. Atrial fibrillation is an irregular and often very rapid heart rhythm. An irregular heart rhythm is called an arrhythmia. AFib can lead to blood clots in the heart. The condition also increases with risk of stroke, heart failure, and other heart-related complications. During atrial fibrillation, the heart's upper chambers, called the atria, beat chaotically and irregularly. AFib may cause a fast, pounding heartbeat, shortness of breath, or lightheadedness. A recreational drug is a drug taken for its psychoactive nature, with users thinking that their sporadic consumption cannot be addictive. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next question is, which of the following is or are tributary or tributaries of the Kaveri River? 1. Amravati, 2. Noil, 3. Shimsha. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, or 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Recently, the state of Karnataka is to release 10,000 million cubic feet of Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. The Kaveri River is designated as the Dakshin Bharat Ki Ganga, or the Ganga of the South. It rises at an elevation of 1,341 meters at Talakaveri on the Brahmagiri range of Karnataka. Its left bank tributaries are the Harangi, the Hemavati, the Shimsha and the Arkavati. Its right bank tributaries are Lakshman Tirth, the Kabbani, the Savarnavati, the Bhavani, the Noil and the Amravati join from the right. The Kaveri basin extends over the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and the Union Territory of Puducherry. It is bounded by the Western Ghats on the west, by Eastern Ghats on the east and the south, and by the ridges separating it from the Krishna basin and Pennar basin on the north. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding the Tampara Lake. 1. It is a freshwater body located in Odisha. 2. It was designated as a Ramsar site in October 2005. Which of the statement or statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A, 1 only. Recently, the National Green Tribunal passed an order banning illegal construction in and around Tampara Lake. Tampara Lake, a Ramsar wetland site and freshwater body located in the Indian state of Odisha. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It holds considerable ecological and socio-economic importance. With an estimated average fish yield of 12 tons per year, the wetland is an important source of livelihood for the local communities. The Tampara Lake was designated as a Ramsar site in October 2021. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. It is connected to the Rushikulya river. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question is, in the context of Indian biodiversity, what is the IUCN status of Himalayan griffon? Least concern, near threatened, vulnerable, or critically endangered? The correct answer is option B, near threatened. Recently, 2 critically endangered, 4 vulnerable, and 2 endangered species were found during a bird survey at Corbett Tiger Reserve in Nainital. The Himalayan griffon vulture Gyps himalayensis is an old world vulture in the family Accipitridae. It also includes eagles, kites, buzzards, and hawks. It is a typical vulture with a bald, white head, very broad wings, and short tail feathers. The IUCN status of Himalayan griffon is near threatened. The Himalayan vulture mostly lives in the Himalayas on the Tibetan Plateau, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Central China, and Mongolia. They act an important function as nature's garbage collectors and help to keep the environment clean of waste. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding the geographical features of Australia. 1. The Great Dividing Range is a mountain range that runs along Australia's eastern coast. 2. The largest desert in Australia is the Gibson Desert located in the western part of the country. 3. The Murray-Darling Basin is the largest river system in Australia. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? The correct answer is option B, only 2. Recently, a memorandum of understanding has been signed on sports cooperation between India's Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and Australia's Department of Health and Aged Care. The Great Dividing Range, also called Great Divide, Eastern Highlands, or Eastern Cordillera, runs roughly parallel to the east coast of Australia and forms the 5th longest land-based mountain chain in the world. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The largest desert is the Great Victoria Desert, spanning over 700 kilometers, not the Gibson Desert. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The longest river in Australia is the Murray River, spanning a length of 2,508 kilometers. Originating in the Australian Alps within the Great Dividing Range, it courses through the southeastern region before eventually reaching the Indian Ocean close to Adelaide. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question is, with reference to digitization of child health services, consider the following statements. 1. It aims to digitize the reproductive and child health services for pregnant women and newborns. 2. Rajasthan will be the first state in the country with a complete digitization of reproductive and child health services. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Recently, the National Health Mission Rajasthan has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Johns Hopkins Program for International Education in Gynecology and Obstetrics for the digitization work. The project aims to digitize the RCH services for pregnant women and newborns. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The MOU focuses on digitized clinical care and maternal health services during institutional deliveries in high-load hospitals. Rajasthan will become the first state in the country with a complete digitization of reproductive and child health services. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The initial phase targets Bundi, Karoli, and Udaipur districts, where auxiliary nurse midwives will receive digital devices to directly input health reports into the PCTS via mobile phones. The initiative will ensure real-time monitoring of RCH services. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next question is, recently the term amyotrophic lateral sclerosis was in the news. It is a novel gene editing technique used to modify human DNA, a neurodegenerative disease affecting motor neurons, an advanced nanotechnology application for water purification, or a breakthrough gene editing technique in agricultural biotechnology? The correct answer is option A, a neurodegenerative disease affecting motor neurons. Recently, scientists' use of brain activity recordings to recreate Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall holds promise for enhancing communication in patients with conditions like stroke or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a fatal type of motor neuron disease. It is characterized by progressive degeneration of nerve cells in the spinal cord and brain. It's often called Lou Gehrig's disease after a famous baseball player who died from the disease. ALS is one of the most devastating of the disorders that affects the functions of nerves and muscles. ALS does not affect mental functioning or the senses, such as seeing or hearing, and it is not contagious. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question is, recently the term Pibot was in the news. It is related to: it is a deep submergence vehicle, it is an artificial intelligence powered chatbot, it is a humanoid pilot, or it is an Earth observation satellite. The correct answer is option C. It is a humanoid pilot. Recently, a team of engineers and researchers from the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology has developed a humanoid robot named Pibot. It is the world's first humanoid pilot. It can fly aircraft without needing to modify the cockpit, just like the human pilot, by manipulating all the single controls in the cockpit, which is designed for humans. It combines artificial intelligence and robotics technologies to process the natural language of the flight manual and control the flight's operation in real time. Pibot can control its arms and fingers to dexterously operate flight instruments even with severe vibration in an aircraft, using high precision control technology. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Last question is, consider the following statements regarding the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. 1. It is located in the Nilgiris district of Tamil Nadu. 2. It is part of Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve. 3. It has tall grasses commonly referred to as elephant grass. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option C, all three. Recently, the Madras High Court directed the central government to release funds to relocate residents of the village that falls within the protected area of the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. It is located in the Nilgiris district of Tamil Nadu, spread over 321 square kilometers at the tri-junction of three states, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It lies on the northeastern and northwestern slopes of Nilgiri Hills, which is a part of the Western Ghats. It is part of the Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve, the first biosphere reserve in India. Hence, statement 2 is correct. It has a common boundary with Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, Kerala on the west, Bandipur Tiger Reserve, Karnataka on the north, the Nilgiris North Division on the south and east, and Gudalur Forest Division on southwest. It has tall grasses commonly referred to as elephant grass, bamboo of the giant variety, and valuable timber species like teak, rosewood, etc. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Now it's time for the practice question. Consider the following statements regarding the Murmansk port. 1. It is one of the largest ports in Ukraine. 2. It is located on the Kola Peninsula on the coast of Barents Sea. Which of the statement or statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.